All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye. I can't even place this. Sorry, Guna Eagle Eye. It's the towel I used when I got out the shower today. Apologies. What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. Big up to everybody that is watching tonight. Please do stick a like on this video. Activity is what we need in order for the show to get noticed. So please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you may have noticed a slight addition to my channel. My long awaited memberships is now up and running and active. At the moment, there's the one video in there, but I've got a couple of things in the can which I'm going to slide in there today. So make sure you do hit that join. It is a two-tier system. So as soon as you join, you can either go for the silver membership, which is $3.99. That brings you all my pre-recorded videos a day. Sorry, it'll bring it 12 hours earlier than everyone else. And it will have all my daily vlogs in it, and of course, you get your little badges as soon as you sign up. In addition to that, there is a gold tier, which is $5.99. So you get all of the things I've just mentioned, including any FIFA streams, of course, the daily vlogs I mentioned, the FIFA streams. You get an opportunity at doing Q&As with me, our own membership kind of section and area, access to the membership chat. You get to do a show with me if you want to do that. So if there's an opportunity that you've always wanted to hang out with me and chat to me for a little while, we can do that. So make sure you join up. I'm going to try and make that as exciting and as tempting as possible for you guys. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of things pop up on there. So make sure you join and support the show, guys. Support your boy. That's the main reason I decided to do it, because I wasn't gonna. And then I thought, then YouTube decided to grant me access to it. And I thought, you know what? Don't look at it too bad. At least it's I'm not forcing people to join. Nothing is going to slow down about this channel. I'm still going to upload every single day like I always do. I'm still gonna. The only day I give myself off is Saturday, and that's only because I'm working on other channel stuff. So please, please, please don't feel you're under any obligation to join. This is just about more me. You know, a lot of people tend to ask me a lot of personal stuff, and I think the good thing about the membership is actually that type of stuff will allow you to get to know me a bit better as a person, and not just a YouTube person. I cringe even thinking about thinking about the phrase, but hey ho, we are where we are. All right, let's talk about some football stuff, shall we? Um, let's talk about Moussa Dembele, the Lyon striker, previously of Celtic, previously of Fulham, and people forget that part. Goal scoring machine. I mean, the guy is a fantastic goal scorer. I think he's 23 years old now. I'm just literally looking up his goal scoring record. People like disputing stuff whenever I whenever I talk about somebody's goal scoring record. So I'm like, all right, hold on, let me go to my reliable site before I do anything. Now, obviously, the French league, their season is over, so a lot of their players are almost naturally being linked with moves away. I think they're more or less on holiday now, which is crazy to think they've had 3 months off and now they're kind of officially on holiday. Not that they can go anywhere at the moment, what it does do is it allows players' agents to start sorting out their future, and particularly before they go on holiday, you would assume that everybody's lockdown is going to come to an ease at some point over the next few weeks. But what it allows people to do, like a Moussa Dembele, is all right, let me look around, see what's out there, and plan my next move. And the kid is talented. He always has been. You know, ever since he was at Fulham, he was always a talented kid. This season, he scored 23 goals in 45 appearances, including 16 La Liga goals, one under 21s goal, and 6 goals in the various domestic cups that are played over in France. He's had 2 assists along with that as well. Actually, for him, it's usually a little bit. Usually, it's a little bit or more than that. So, yeah, we're talking about someone who is just a finishing machine. Someone who just basically likes to get on the ball, into the ball, and finish. That's what he does. Bit of a dribbler. Just a predator in front of goal. Some people call him the French Ian Wright. You know, it is what it is. I don't really like tagging players to other players, but what I would say for him is that the kid has a lot of talent, and naturally, as one of Lyon's gems, he's now being linked with a move away, and enter Arsenal. Arsenal are known to be targeting a number of strikers as options, particularly if Aubameyang and Lacazette leave. With Aubameyang, it looks as though, I don't know if he's intending to leave or not. I can't say I'm confident because, this has been dragging on for a long, long time. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of noise in the direction of Aubameyang has signed a new contract. Now, it must be said, and I did say this the other day, I've not heard of one single story that says Arsenal have actually offered him a new contract. So I do wonder if Arsenal actually want him to go. We did hear stories once upon a time ago from Van Persie, I think it was earlier this year, to say that, he was never offered a contract prior to him going to United. So when he went to United, he just decided to jump at it. Now, in Van Persie's case, I believe it a little less because I do think initial discussions happened with Van Persie, and maybe when it became apparent that he wasn't going to stay, why would they offer him a contract? Maybe arguably we could have made a bigger fight out of keeping him. And I think if it was a choice between selling him to United and making a fight out of keeping him, we should have fought to try and keep Van Persie. Particularly at the time, he was the only one banging in goals for us. Very similar situation to this when you think about it. Aubameyang's the only person banging in goals for us. So it'll be interesting to see if Arsenal make the same mistake. Are they going to let their prize asset go, albeit an aging one, but their prize asset go to another team for the sake of what? It was yesterday that I, read a story about the fact that we were favourites to get what's his name? Usman Edouard. Like we were red hot favourites. I did mention that in yesterday's show. Didn't highlight it too much, but it's just bookies slashing odds that if basically Usman Edouard is to leave Celtic, the likely destination is Arsenal. Don't know what that was based off. Just a lot of money all of a sudden coming in. Sometimes the bookies are quite good at indicating next moves through things like that, and that's why I thought it was worth mentioning. Another striker that we've been linked with in the past is Jonathan David. We're not hearing so much about that these days, so you are thinking that maybe that story might have just died a little bit. Another one that we were linked with yesterday was Victor Osimhen from Lille, Nigeria striker, 21 years old, someone who I think is a very talented kid. From a Nigerian perspective, I'm very excited by what I see by this kid. Something that we can, maybe next World Cup, we might actually get out of the group stages. That's my only ask. Just get out of group stages at least. But yeah, so from that perspective, I'm obviously very excited. I must admit, Nigeria are doing well with their youngsters. We got some real exciting youngsters coming up. I'm gonna lie, we might be about this life next World Cup. We might be about it. I think maybe next World Cup might be too soon, but definitely the World Cup after, I think we might be about something. But let's see what happens. Anyway, I digress. Going back to Moussa Dembele, this is the guy that actually I've always said from day one would be my number one choice ahead of Edouard. Yep, ahead of Edouard. And I like Edouard. I think you lot are quickly overrating Edouard. Yes, he scored a number of goals. I do think he's a talent. But for me, this guy is much more proven than Edouard is. Yes, I know Edouard once upon a time was at PSG as well, but this is someone who has actually been in England. I don't mean in Scotland. I don't mean just in France. He's been in England as well, has had experience of our league, and he's still only 23 years. All right, by next season, he'll be 24 because his birthday is in July. So 24-year-olds coming in, and we know the boy scores goals. So yeah, I think for me, I think he'd be an interesting talent, and I'd be much more confident if we did let go of and um, Aubameyang and Lacazette, and bringing in this guy and maybe a winger. I'd be a lot more confident than I would be bringing in Edouard, to be honest. Because I think I do like Edouard as a player. Don't get me wrong. Clearly, the guy is a goal scoring machine himself, but he's only proved he's a goal scoring machine in one place. You know, this guy has proved it. All right, in predominantly two places, but he also made his mark in England for Fulham. I think people forget that. So, personally, for me, I feel like this would be the better risk because let's face it, if you let go of Aubameyang and Lacazette, you better have a good plan. And for me, this would be the better risk to take, particularly in light of other stories which I'm going to talk about shortly. So for me, if this is a deal that we could get done, I know that United were all over this. Once upon a time, I thought this deal was agreed with United for 60 mil. We obviously have nowhere near 60 mil, but the only reason that Arsenal are being linked with him is that supposedly there is a belief that obviously following the pandemic, his values come right down. And so because his values come right down, it's brought Arsenal into play. And particularly if we can get some good money out of the Aubameyang and or Lacazette deal. So they're talking in the region of 45 mil. There's a belief that maybe Leon are more likely to agree to something in the region of 50. Bear in mind, Leon are not the easiest people to negotiate with. So this could be tricky, but what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about George Lewis very quickly. So there's a wide belief that Arsenal have signed him. They've signed him. This is a deal that we know. This is a deal that we know. Sorry, flipping things. Apparently, I've signed into Facebook while I'm doing the show. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't even realize I was. Yeah, so apparently, it's being widely reported at the moment that we are after this George Lewis, this random Norwegian winger. Supposedly, he's a lot of talent, raw talent, a right winger, basically by trade. Anyway, it looks as though we've signed him, and we're just waiting to announce that deal. He's obviously a free signing because he came in as a trialist, had that initial week. Everyone was so impressed. They extended it by a week. Then he went back, and then Arsenal have been trying to sign him ever since. But according to the story, Arsenal have signed George Lewis and have completed the signing. This was reported by Charles Watts, that Rwandan-born winger George Lewis was on trial, joined the under-23s, did well, and his former club, Fram Larvik, whose sporting director is Jostin Jensen, told VG No that we can confirm that I have been told he has signed for Arsenal. So it is interesting. Let's see if he's good enough. The youngster's agent, Chikit Digital, I'm not going to say his last name, also played up the move, and he seemed sketchy about whether it had actually been done or not. He's ready for Arsenal. The club has made it official. Have not made it official yet, but he's signed for the club. They are really looking forward to getting George, who they see as an exciting player. So we'll see what happens. It is what it is. I think it's always important to get some youngsters in, particularly in light of the pandemic and the fact that we're going to have a lot of free funds. And I feel like if this kid is about something, let's get him and see what he's saying. What do you guys think? Does anyone know anything more about uh, just George Lewis yet? Because this is the one guy that seems to be consistently coming up as someone that we've either signed or about to sign, and that's doable as well. But let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about this Henrik Mkhitaryan deal. Racing through these stories because I know that Lee's not far off doing his show, and then half of you lot will bounce. So let me race through these stories real quick. Let's talk about Henrik Mkhitaryan. So Henrik Mkhitaryan this is another story that just won't go away. We know Henrik Mkhitaryan wants to join Roma. We need him off the books, but we can't seem to get it done. Roma won't pay what we want. Roma are not willing to do a straight swap for someone with only a year left on their contract in Henrik Mkhitaryan. So it is presenting a problem. Enter, I've forgotten his name. The Raiola, the super agent Raiola, who comes in and is trying to be as innovative as possible. We all of a sudden seem to have developed these really good relationships with these super agents. I don't know where it's come from. I feel like it'll sting us eventually. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, he's trying to make a deal happen. It's in his interest to get the Mkhitaryan deal over the line. Obviously, Mkhitaryan is his client. But another client of his, a certain Justin Kluivert, is also his client. So from his perspective, he sees a deal where he sees himself making double the dough. So he's thinking to himself, all right, well, how do I make this deal happen? So what he's now proposing is going to sound convoluted as heck. What he's saying is that Arsenal need to extend Henrik Mkhitaryan's deal by another year. By doing that, then Roma are going to be more prepared to let Justin Kluivert join Arsenal, moving the other way on loan. So it's going to be two loan deals going the other way, both with an option to buy for a fixed price. In fact, the way I understood it, there are various different stories there, but the way I understood it was that Arsenal want an option to buy a Kluivert, but they want Roma to sign an obligation to buy Henrik Mkhitaryan. So obviously that kind of gives us an opportunity to A, get Henrik Mkhitaryan off the books, and B, bring in a player that's quite talented. What do you guys think? For me, this sounds like a weird deal, a weird deal, and we're going to need a super agent or two, I think, to get it over the line. But if we could get it over the line, it'd be a clever bit of business. It would be a clever bit of business. And once again, I would like to say it again, in this climate, we need to be clever. Obviously, the reason that we're looking for an initial swap loan is because we don't have money to do much more than that. So what a swap loan does is it at least says to them, all right, we'll buy him next year when we hope we'll be in the Champions League next year and therefore have that Champions League money. The business would have recovered a little bit after this pandemic, we would hope, and therefore we can make that deal happen. So we'll see what happens. Bear in mind, judging by the way the league are trying to rush through all these fixtures, there's not going to be a big transfer window or a long transfer window. So you are going to hear those people who are sick and tired of hearing stories coming out from me about X player, Y player. Those stories are only going to intensify, unfortunately, because those agents are starting to work now. Bear in mind, the season would normally be over by now, but they're going to have to start working now in order to make sure that these guys are sorted and their futures are sorted. So we'll see what happens. Again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, I'm going to talk about one final story. Now, this story did come up during my show yesterday. If you remember, I wasn't going to talk about it, but then I noticed people were widely reporting it. And I think in my mind, I kind of regretted not talking about it because it kind of I hate making it look like I wasn't on point and I wasn't ready for the story coming out. But Arsenal are after the PSG. Oh, I'll talk about that story as well. All right, two more stories. Two more stories to talk about. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are still listening. Please do stick a like on this video if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. My membership is open. That is going to be active real soon. Please do feel free to join. There's a 2-tier system. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but I promise you, whatever tier you join, you will enjoy yourself. All right, two more stories I'm going to talk about. Completely forgot about this previous story. Right. So let's talk about this geezer. This is a PSG youngster, a midfielder, no less, who's yet to break into the first team, but they have a lot of high hopes for. He's an attacking midfielder from PSG. I've not said his name, have I? His name is Adil Ouchi. That's what it is. Ouchi. Ouchichi. I don't know. Adil. Let's call him Adil. He's 17 years old. He's an attacking midfielder. But there is a lot of high hopes for him. Like a lot of high hopes for him. I believe that he'll turn into something. A lot of people are comparing him to potentially an attacking midfielder version of Guendouzi. He made his debut for PSG in August and has obviously represented France at several age groups. Basically, seems to be doing well. I know that he banged in a hell of a lot of goals in the under-17 championships last summer, and so much so he actually won the Golden Boot. So I'm not just talking about an attacking midfielder who can pass. We're talking about attacking midfielder who can bang. He got. I'm trying to think of the amount of goals he got. He netted 9 times in 5 matches. So you can see why Arsenal are like, hold up. He hasn't signed any professional deal with PSG, which is obviously making Arsenal think, hey, hold up, what's going on here? So we're talking about a guy who's clearly very confident and has a decent amount of ability. It'd be interesting to see because obviously it looks like we're not going to sign Coutinho. Spoiler alert on that one, by the way. I read that story today. No, we're not going to sign Coutinho because Barcelona are looking for whoever takes him, even if it is on loan, has to pay 250 grand a week. We cannot do that, So Arsenal are probably looking for cheaper options of attacking midfielders that have a lot of potential and that can develop into something once the great Mesut Ozil decides to leave our graces. Enter a deal, I guess. And I think, they could sell him the world here to try and get him on board. It'll be interesting to see what happens. From my perspective, I'd say get him. If it's possible, let's get him. Because I don't want it to be one of them situations whereby we regret it. I don't want it to be, we could have had an opportunity at this guy, but we didn't. I think any attacking midfielder from an attacking midfield position that scores 9 goals in 5 games has to be about something. So I think it might be worth a peek. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. This will be the final story I talk about. This is Gabriel, 22-year-old Gabriel. Maglanales. He's the Brazilian 22-year-old central defender from Lille, one of 80 million defenders that we've been linked with. But to be fair, this is a name that has come up quite a few times, more times most recently than even Upamecano. A lot of people have high hopes on this guy. In fact, I have it on good authority from a couple of different people that of all the defenders we've been linked with, he's the best one, which bamboozled me. I was like, what? More than Upamecano? It's like, yep, more than Upamecano. So this is a guy that a lot of people like, a lot of people rate, a lot of people feel that he has a big ceiling for. So it'd be interesting to see how we go and where we go with this. It looked, by all intents and purposes, that he wanted to go to the Premier League. He's been linked with us, Chelsea, and Everton. Everton have been on his nuts from day one, to be fair to them. Literally, they were the ones that even identified him in the first place. And they've been in negotiations for weeks now. We didn't realize that before. Something happened, and those negotiations fell through, and he hasn't had the opportunity to go to Everton. And to Arsenal, you would hope. I know that Everton initially put in a deal for 20 million, and I think a further 5 to 7 million in add-ons, which was accepted by Lille at the time. So you'd think we would have to offer something in that region in order to get Lille to have a listen and for us to talk to the player. I did mention this 3-4 weeks ago, that actually his preference would be to go to either Chelsea or Arsenal. London teams, I guess, reputable teams, I don't know. So you've got to think to yourself, all the defenders we've been linked with, when for some reason recently we've been linked with a bunch of schmoes. I won't necessarily put Diego, what is his name? That Seville defender that we're being linked with. I won't necessarily put him in that bracket. But, you know, when you think about the fact that we've been linked with that Dortmund defender, then we've been linked with the Saint Etienne defender that played with William Saliba, purely on the basis that because he played with William Saliba, apparently we're now linked with him. It feels like now the papers have no idea what we're looking to do. But I just got a feeling that if this is a deal that Arteta can put off, he would rather pull this one off. He's at a good age. He's got good experience. I mean, he's been playing senior football more than Saliba. You'd think that he can speak French, which might be important for Saliba. So I say, let's see if we can make something happen. Actually, I wouldn't mind this still. I'm more. I knew he was a good defender, but I'm more confident hearing the reports I'm hearing that actually this might be a strong option to play alongside William Saliba. What do you guys think? Do you guys know anything more about Gabriel than me? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. Let's do 5 minutes of Q&A before I head up out of here. Once again, please do hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, the likes, guys, please. Like squad. This is your job. You're on this thing. Absolutely crush that like button for me. It does help the show. I can't tell you how much it helps the show. Any donations are great, and if you've donated, please forgive me if I missed them. I'm going to come and check them in a second. But you know, donations are great, but this is what helps the show get noticed. This is what helps the show grow. So if you could subscribe or you can share it around to someone that hasn't, that would be helpful. Just a couple of bit of housekeeping before I go into the chat room. Remember, I am going to be doing the Combat Show in just over 2 hours on the Combat Show channel. The link is in the description below. Me, Ola, and Will. We've got a few things to talk about this week, so make sure you check that out. Hit the subscribe button on that. Also, Chick Flicks. The reason I don't do a show on Green and Eagle Eye is because all my focus is on Chick Flicks. And you guys will notice from the combat show to chick flicks why I've not been putting out videos on chick flicks, because I've been working on something for the last week or so. You're going to see different changes on both shows, new additions on both shows. Hopefully, you like those additions. So stay tuned for that one. But this weekend, I will be looking to record a few things. So make sure you check that out. The memberships, guys, you guys are awesome for even blessing me with your time with that and supporting the show. I've got a few things in the can that I can put out on there, so it's not like you're going to have an empty weekend. Just means my weekend is going to be nothing but editing. Keep in mind also, during this whole process, it's the wifey's birthday on Monday, so I'm not 100% sure I'll do a show on Monday. I'm not 100% sure. It's possible. I'm not 100% sure. But if I don't do one on Monday, on Tuesday, it definitely will be out there. All right. All right. Let me go into the chat room and see what you lot are saying. You awesome lot. All right. Big up, everybody. Big up. Oh my goodness. New member. Big up. Not G. I hope you're well, brother. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, it's the Jibs A AFTV put a vid on Baku today. Make the fans remind them of pain. Do you think Suarez can take Hector Bellerin's place? How do you get the best out of our attack? No, I don't. I don't think he even challenges him. But what I do think is that Suarez is probably a smart signing in some ways, because I disagree with certain people that think Hector Bellerin will go this summer. I think it's more likely he goes next summer. I think the best thing to do is start to integrate Suarez now. I think he'll be the backup for whoever the actual right back is next year. So that's what I think will happen. But thank you so much for the donation, my guy. Appreciate it. If I missed anything else, Diesel, I see you, brother. I see you, my guy. Hope you're well. All right, guys. If I missed any other new members, I apologize. But thank you, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, guys. Chris, we should sign Tanguy Kouassi from PSG as a centre back. Why do I feel like I've heard this name before? I feel like I've heard this person before. Maybe it's the first name. It sounds hella familiar. Greetings, Elliot from Toronto. Big up to you, Elliot. Magalhaes, Diassi, and Tar for centre back would be ecstatic. Keep Uber. Yeah, I must admit, for me, actually, if you are so supposedly the story is that Arteta wants to get rid of Holding, Mustafi, and Socrates, which, by the way, I completely agree with. But then he also, or the board don't also want to extend David Luiz. So by that logic, you must be bringing in at least two centre backs then, because I can't imagine you're going to keep Mavropanos. I think they may keep Chambers because I thought Chambers did well. I've been saying it for the entire time. I always thought Chambers was the better one of the two. People wouldn't listen. It seems like Arteta actually agrees with me. Sergio, I see your donation, my brother. I'm coming in a second. I see you, brother. But yeah, so I feel like for me, why not bring in two? Why not bring in a Dasasi? I think Mari is probably going to be one of them. So it's going to be Mari and one other. I like Dasasi as well, so I wouldn't be disappointed in that. If you're asking me Tar or Gabriel, I still like Tar purely because I like that combination of he's completely different to Saliba, but I like that. I like that he's a foil for Saliba. And I like that he's experienced. He's 24, 25. So he's got that nice experience, but he's not so old that we're not getting benefit out of him, you know? So he's got that solid experience next to him. He's a big lump. He's a big lump of a player. You know, if you notice, my strategy is put more big lumps in the team. Your parties, your your what's his name? Your Sangaras and this geezer and this tar geezer. Puts more size in the team. Big up to Sergio Chig. I'll join the membership later, I promise. I'm on the phone, so it won't let me until I get on the PC. My bro, thank you, man, for the donation. And whatever you can do, my brother, whatever you could do, anything you can do to support the show, I appreciate the donation. And of course, you know, I know you. I know you'll join when you're ready, brother. Not a problem. Not a problem. Jibs again with the donation. How does Arteta get the best out of the attack? Drop Mesut Ozil. That's not even me hating now. Drop Mesut Ozil. The attack needs to be a lot quicker, a lot more succinct. And that's why I started getting used to the Coutinho stories, because the one thing I'll say for Coutinho, he's quick. He's a quick thinker. I'll give him that. He can dribble. He's very quick in his movement and what he wants to do. I think it needs to be quicker. I think if you're going to play, he clearly wants to restore Arsenal to old attacking Arsenal, stroke Barcelona. Okay, then everything needs to be a little bit quicker. A little bit quicker. Everyone needs to be a little more accurate with their passing. That's how I would do it. Honestly, that's not even me particularly hating on Ozil. That's genuinely what I think. Look at my man, so annoyed. I'm giving him a compliment. I just said one thing I can continue. He's a quick thinker. He's a quick thinker. I just said that. Pau Torres is. I would say Pau Torres. He's terrible in FIFA. But one thing I will say for him is, in terms of his experience in real life, he's good. Super quick as well. Super quick. Ben, thank you, brother. I noticed a little S by you. By the way, I'm going to change those badges. As soon as I know how to do it, I'll do it. But I'm going to change those badges, man. Them S's are dead food, man. They are dead food. But I appreciate it, my guy. Who would I choose? Keep Uber or get Dembele? I'll always opt to keep the person that's proven over the person that is coming in. So yeah, I think if you can keep Aubameyang and still develop your Martinellis, your Sakas, dare I say it, your Ballagans, I'm telling you that kid is going to blow. As soon as if we just give him a chance. So supposedly he's going to get a chance between now and the end of the season. You just watch him work. Watch him work and remember Chib told you. And as somebody pointed out to me on Twitter, shout out to him, I think his name is Itatsu on Twitter. If you guys remember, about a year and a half ago, I told you about a little winger called Saka. And I told you he was going to do bits. Your boy does not misdirect you. He does not misadvise you. No, it ain't. Don't give me that. Liverpool, you never walk alone. One of them is £4. What are you talking about? One of them is £4. Dembele would be my first choice ahead of Edouard, who surely could score goals wherever he goes. Exactly. Don't get me wrong, I think Edouard would do good too. And I get what people like about him. He's physical, he's quick, you know. There's this kind of feeling that if you can do it in Scotland, you probably can do it in the Premier League, purely because even though Scotland is not as good a quality, the grit that is required in in Scotland, makes you more reassured that they wouldn't be shell shocked if they come to the Premier League. I get the thought process. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like for me, I think Moussa Dembele, who's also played in Scotland, bang goals in Scotland. I think I'd be more reassured if Aubameyang was to go, that he could fill those boots. Cheek for cheese scout. Down, Skippy, brother. You're down, Skippy. You were on it. I promise you. You watch Balogun go. You watch Balogun go. Watch Balogun go. I don't even say nothing else. Who is Ashes talking about? Oh dear. You know what? I ain't even gonna block him. Someone handle my waxwork for me. Someone handle my waxwork for me. Jibs. Hey, Chig. Tierney is nearing full fitness. Shall Arsenal play Saka left wing or Martinelli or allow Uber up front? Would love Pepe number 10. Martinelli right wing, drop Ozil. I don't think Martinelli can play right wing. Play that now. So yeah, I think you either keep Pepe where he is and hope he just gets better, which I'm not necessarily opposed to doing, or you move Pepe right to the number 10, and then you kind of rotate Martinelli and Aubameyang in that position up top. Because if Lacazette goes, which I would hope and expect, then that kind of frees up that kind of number 2 striker spot anyway for Martinelli to step up into. Bear in mind, Martinelli is still 19, so we don't need to get overly carried away as well. I like Balogun as well. Big up, big up. But thank you again for your donation, brother. All right. Give me a couple more questions before I head off. Did I see the news releasing 10 youth scouts? No. I'll look into that, Ben, and I'll comment on that on Sunday, on Sunday's podcast. But no, I didn't. I did not hear that. Thank you for signing up to the membership again, brother. As with Robert Smith, another brother. Join today. Keep up the good work. We need some goal scoring midfielder. We need goals from midfield. We do. That's why I like the idea of that PSG kid. Don't know him, but I assume anyone that scores 9 goals in 5 games in a tournament can't be bad. I would have loved to be a member, but I don't have the cash in the moment since I am working and the membership doesn't work in Kenya, where I'm based. Brother, don't worry. I get it. For some weird reason, YouTube. Look, brother, I know you guys watch this. This is someone from Kenya that would like to join and can't join. Can't we do something? Just saying. There you go. I made my appeal to YouTube. All right, one more question because I know Lee's about to go live. It's probably watching me waiting to go. Arsenal to play 3-4-3 at the left side of the 3. Saka left wing back, Martinelli at left wing. Saka and Martinelli. They do play well together. I agree with you, Tyron. They do play well together. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. How long do I get? I give Pepe all season. But admittedly, next season is where I judge him harshly. Because now, as a 72 million pound player, I need you to kick on, bro. I still don't think he's been anywhere near a flop. I think Lee asked a question earlier on his community post. I don't normally comment on his community post, but I couldn't help myself. I saw it and I said, "Well, it's 6 out of 10." What do you rate Pepe this season? 6 out of 10. I don't think he's been anywhere near as bad as people say, but you would hope that even on his first season, he would score 10 goals. He hasn't yet. Keep in mind the season's not done. He hasn't yet. But yeah, I would say 6. Now, if he goes on and gets 10 goals and maybe a couple more assists, we're looking at 7, potentially 8, depending on what he does. Jerome, I hope you're well, my bro. I hope you're well, my guy. That's another ride or die. I'll take Dembele. You'd give Pepe 5. Not shit, not great. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm more with Omar here with that one. That's kind of my thought process. Oh, he will, Dan. I agree with you. I agree. He will, 100%. Thank you for joining as well, my guy. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm gonna head up out of here because I know Jason Jetson. Brother, it's been a long time. I ain't seen you in time. Just as I'm starting to head up out of here as well. But I hope you're well. I hope you're all well. Please do enjoy your Friday night. Please subscribe and like. Hold on. Subscribe and like. Please do all for all the things I have. The membership is great. The donations are great. Actually, the likes is what's most important. So please do like. Then hit that subscribe. Then share it if you haven't already to your various social medias, your Facebooks, your Twitters. Put them on the show. Come on now. If you're the real riders, that's what you do. Then, if you feel to, and only if you feel to, you can join. Join. I'm going to put out loads of shows on the membership for you guys to enjoy. So make sure you do that. Is there anything else? I think I've covered everything else. Combat show tonight, 9:30. If you're an MMA fan, a boxing fan, 9:30. It won't be on this channel. Go into the link. The link is in the description below. Make sure you join us 9:30 UK time, which is in 2 hours. Exactly 2 hours time. Join us, me, Ola, and Will. If you've never seen the show before, let's imagine three black guys bickering over MMA. That's basically what it is. It's bickering over MMA and boxing. That's basically what we do. So make sure you check that out. It's a hilarious show. And that's pretty much it, guys. In Guna Eagle Eye wise, I'll be back. I'm gonna put stuff out on the membership tomorrow. I'll be back on the channel properly on Sunday for the podcast. So make sure you join. You watch out for that. All right. And just because he always says it and I always ignore it, please do subscribe. Do that subscribe. All right. Subscribe to my man's holy fats, the white man dingo. All right, my guy. I'm out of it. Take care. Doses.